Lockdown has not been good to women and children. The headlines speak for themselves. Abuse, rape and murder were now in the first week of the 16 Days of Activism campaign. It happens every year, but it seems the message doesn't get across to perpetrators. We speak now to Mpho Mazamane, gender activist and founder of Umkabeti Center. Very good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for joining us. So tell us a bit about the work that Onkabetse does.
I started Onkabetse in 2007. Onkabetse is a center that assists women and children who were abused, who are living with HIV. Some they've been raped, some they are orphans. So we do a lot of stuff whereby we train them and give them like skills on how to stand on themselves and fight for whatever that they've went through. As I'm also the founder of the organization, some of the things, or actually most of the things that I've went through. So most of the stories that we come across in Onkabetse, it's almost exactly what happened to me also in the past.
If you don't mind, walking us through your journey and your story in terms of what it is that happened. What happened? I used to call myself a victim of everything, but today I call myself a victor because I've been through all sorts of abuse. For an example, I was gang raped at the age of 15. I was physically and sexually abused in my first marriage, and I was infected by HIV on my other relationship when I was 20, where I gave birth to my son Onkabetse. Hence, I named the center after him. I struggled a lot due to lack of information. From my siblings and my parents. They didn't know how to treat me and all that. So I was kicked out of my house, of my home. I lived on the streets. And, I felt that I wanted to go out there and encourage other women to say, look at me and look at my son, Onkabetse, tested negative. And if this happened to me, then it can happen to you. But believe you me, this issue of gender-based violence has affected me in a way that, every relationship that I've been through, there was an abuse of some sort, and namely the two most important ones were is either sexual abuse and physical abuse. What does it tell you that you have been through all of this, and especially all those years ago, and today in 2020 in South Africa we sit in a situation not much has changed? As everyone knows, yes, we always talk about this, we talk about it. Us as activists, we go around, we motivate people, we talk about people, we talk to even young boys, trying to train them and all that. But the problem is, if we are not going to work together, we are not going to win the battle. This is a pandemic, actually. I call it a pandemic. We suffered from the major pandemic, which is the COVID-19 this year, and now the statistics of GBV has went up also, and it's just so overwhelming, because sometimes I go to bed, crying and taking everything, even to my present, marriage. I've been married for 20 years now, but even my husband, I'm telling you, my dear, it's hard, because now he has to deal with everything that kept on following me. So this year we are pleading, yes, as much as we are also fighting to say enough is enough. I see a lot of cases at my center and within the community. People, they call me, people see me on TV, people hear me on radio stations, and then they call me and say they don't know how to come out, they don't know who to talk to and all that, because they've been threatened. Today, women, we planned to go to, we are actually going for like classes, self-defense classes and all that, knowing very well that it will backfire again to us to say we'll be locked up because now we had beaten men. But we're saying to men, enough is enough. We are tired of this, abuse. I personally, sometimes I play, strong when I'm running counseling at my center, or being it a company that has contracted me to speak to some of the, the victims and all that. But this thing, when I get home, I just sit there and I start weeping, and everything start coming back. Even if I've went for counseling for so many years, I go for debriefing sessions and stuff, but it always follows you.
That trauma never leaves you.
The trauma never leaves.
What are some of the stories that the women who come to your center tell you in terms of what it is that they went through until the situation got to a boiling point?
Most of the stories, like I said, that they're almost similar to what also happened to me. So most of the time when I'm listening to them, it's like a video now is being, it's been played again and again and again in my mind, at the back of my mind. Because, what I would say one of the story was, I think yesterday, there was a 15-year-old who was raped. The mother was jailed for I think they drank and they started fighting, and he was sentenced for I think for 6 months now for I don't know. It's a lot of story. It's quite a long story. But what happened was, now the uncle started now raping the child of this woman who's in jail, and when I stood up and I said, no, we can't leave this, because this child, kept quiet, but I could see when she was coming to the center for being it soup kitchen or being it whatever programs that we run at the center, and I could see that she has changed. And when I started taking note and I asked her, what happened? Please talk to me. And she started crying. And she said, my uncle has been raping me. Now, this is for the 3rd time now, and she started crying. And I went to the police station. I said, you are going to tell the truth. And he told the truth. And he was actually sentenced for 25 years imprisonment. But believe you me, my dear, people don't understand. We seem to not understand that there is what we call, it's no longer jail or prison now. It's now called correctional service. So there's a time frame whereby all these perpetrators, they are being released. So even if we go out there and we toy and we fight, we say, this and that and whatever, let them lock, this person must be locked, and they must throw away the keys, or they must get, a life sentence. But it's still not, working out for us. Because when they come back, they kill us.
It's still a long way to go, but thank you very much for the work that you do, and long may it continue.
Thank you so much.
Mpho Mazamane, gender activist and founder of Onkabeti Center.